You heard the news. The UK's Online Safety Act is now likely the most hated thing the British government has done after Brexit, and even then, I'd say it's a close second. If you're not aware, the Online Safety Act adds a dozen restrictions on online platforms, from social media like Facebook or X to communication apps like Discord, gaming platforms like Xbox, and of course websites like Pornhub. Now you need to pass age verification, forcing all these websites to check your ID, credit or debit card data checks, or use AI-based facial data estimation. And history shows that these websites do a bad job keeping this data. Of course, these age verifications turned out to be easy to bypass. After all, they're an afterthought, an attempt of roughly 6,000 platforms to comply with the sudden requirement. So while these platforms are hiding their behinds from a potential £18 million fine, the users are utilizing VPNs to protect their privacy and avoid the verification checks. As long as their social media accounts are set to be outside the UK, US, or EU, simply connecting to a corresponding VPN server gets rid of the age verification. But not even that is necessary. Apparently, a good quality screenshot from Hideo Kojima's Death Stranding is enough to bypass the AI-based facial recognition filter. Some of you might think that this is a bit of an overreaction. Surely, there's nothing wrong with keeping kids away from violent or adult content, so finding ways to avoid it is not necessary. However, there are legitimate concerns that this change normalizes mass data collection and enforcement of ID verification for online services. They're not wrong. The UK government is already attempting to censor Wikipedia, of all things, all because of the Online Safety Act. Not enough? Well, how about videos of protests against social injustice being heavily restricted and hidden from view due to excessive violence? On my side, I'm also concerned about the privacy and the security of the situation. All these platforms that are required to run verification are simply not equipped to keep personal data secure. Look at the recent T-app leak, and that app actually claimed to focus on privacy and anonymity. Even the BBC reported on that. And I'm not going to pretend that nobody understands that. The UK government itself is split on the consequences of the act. Reform UK's Nigel Farage and a few other officials criticized the Online Safety Act for overreach, accusing the government of aligning with censorship advocates. A large parliamentary petition with over 350 signatures is filed to repeal the act due to privacy and censorship concerns. So I hope that all the calls for reasonable changes will be addressed, because if they aren't, remember how I said that VPN users are not recommended to pick the US or EU countries when bypassing age verification? That's because both the US and EU have similar acts in the works: Kids Online Safety Act and Digital Service Act. So what do you think? Is the Online Safety Act working as intended, or are there glaring oversights that have to be addressed? And do you think other Western powers are heading in the same direction? I'm always interested to hear your opinions, so please share them in the comments section below.